Hello everybody, so welcome back to George from Ireland. So this is a video about the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, and these days she never fails to introduce herself as the Duchess of Sussex, which she indubitably is. So she is proving herself to be a meretricious demi-mondaine yet again. Yesterday, being the 2nd of December, the year of grace, some 2021, there was a court judgment in her favour in London. It was good news for her because she took action against the Mail on Sunday, that's a British newspaper, which published an extensive excerpt from a letter which she sent to her father, which, as she wrote herself, she thought there was a considerable chance would be leaked to the press because her father had been showing his letters and text from her to the media all the time. Anyway, only about a minute after the ruling was announced, Meghan Markle released a press statement, and there was there was an M on it, a big M for Meghan, or me again, with a golden crown surmounting it. And so this is a statement from the Duchess of Sussex, and she obviously triumphalistic. All right, who wouldn't be pleased if you got away? But she's being exposed telling porcupines many times, and saying that she was there for anyone who has ever felt scared to stand up for what's right. So she's standing for what's right. So now everybody in the world lies except for me. Okay, that was a lie. But she has certainly lied, and indeed lied to the court, which is perjury, though she's not gone there in person. But nevertheless, these are affidavits, as in he has sworn in Latin, but it being known that the male pronoun also imports the female. So some of these sworn statements were perjurious, but they have not taken action against her. But that is a crime. You can go to prison for that for a couple of years, although in practice it's very rare for that to happen. She's been exposed, indeed is a good thing. The Mail on Sunday, not my favourite publication, but I do feel sorry for them on this one. I mean, that they could yet appeal it, so this ruling could be overturned. And she won on quite narrow technical grounds that they published too much of the letter. So the letter was 1,250 words, and they published 585 of them. Had they published less, then they would have been in the clear. Seems odd to grant her this victory. Now, I don't know what the compensation will be, because she might be awarded something pecuniarily, or does it have to be some apology or any retraction? I don't know. Now it's been published, you can't really bring back what's already in the public domain. So whilst Meghan didn't tell her father to leak it to the media, she was highly cognizant that was a quite likely scenario, and we know this from what was going on. Now, she's the woman who demands privacy by going on Oprah and Ellen DeGeneres. I mean, if you demand privacy, well, then get your Botoxed face off the screen and stop speaking to journalists and the public. And she obviously can't help herself, so she lives for publicity, she lives by publicity, and she'll die by publicity, metaphorically speaking. And so she's supposedly this fearless warrior for truth. Well, in her quest for truth, she's told so many lies, which is obviously nauseatingly hypocritical, just like her dimwit beau, Prince Harry. And turning up to every bun fight that will have her because she wants to be the belle of the ball. I mean, you can tell something about people by their occupation. The line where she says, "Daddy will pull at the heartstrings," is her undoing. I was going to come up to that one. Yeah, so this was microscopically manipulated, going over through every last phoneme. What would be the most sentimental thing she should call him? And then it was so calculated, so coldly, clinically cynical, trying to have the maximum impact on people. Calling him Dad rather than Daddy. Rather odd for a middle-aged woman to still call her father Daddy, not Dad. Anyway, so it was very carefully crafted. These words were chosen with the greatest of care, for the effect they would have on people. So it wasn't really a letter to him, and it was a letter to the public because she thought there was a high chance. Did she even want it to be leaked, even though she didn't actually order her father to publish it? Anyway, so there was testimony from Jason Knauf, her communication secretary, and this is what she wrote to him. Obviously, everything I've drafted is with the understanding that it could be leaked, so I've been meticulous in my word choice, but please let me know if there's anything stand out for you as a liability. Okay, close quotation. So she knew there was a high chance that it would be revealed to the media, as indeed it was, and her father had constantly showing these things to the media. And then Knauf, this is with his testimony in court, he said, she also had a very specific question regarding addressing Mr. Markle as daddy in the letter, saying, I've only ever called him daddy. It may make sense to be as open as such, despite him being less than paternal, and the unfortunate event that it is leaked, it would pull at the heartstrings. So, close quotation. So, yeah, I mean, if he is less than paternal, I'm not sure why you're being so lovey-dovey with him. So you see how she is really trying to twist us around her finger, as she's successfully managed with her empty-headed husband. And she's just filled his vacuous mind with wokery and achingly fashionable pieties. So anyway, so this is what Meghan had to say when she was crowing about her success. From day one, I've treated this lawsuit as an important measure of right versus wrong. Close quotation. Well, if that's true, you shouldn't lie then. She also says the media, the tabloids are cruel, but think of all the mental health damage she has wrought to the royal family and to the family she was born into, and her first husband, whom she threw over for no particular reason, no adultery alleged or anything like that. She wanted to get her manicured talons into better prey, which indeed she managed by marrying, suppose, the most eligible bachelor on the planet. So she said that newspapers, they make money from lies and the pain they create. In fairness, that's sometimes true. Have they? I mean, but if you put yourself in the public eye, then you got to develop a thick hide. All right, you can't. You got to take the rough with the smooth. And yes, they're allowed to say things which are nasty and to tell the plain truth, even when that's disobliging to her. That's it. And if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. All right, you're an actress, you're an attention addict, and she's not really into drama. You see her in Suits. I mean, she can't act because she's saying the lines, but that's her personality, her mannerisms, her voice. I don't see any way in which that was a fictional character beyond the name that she gave herself. And that's why she moved back to California thinking Hollywood would be falling over itself. Every director would be offering her a part because she's the most bankable name there is. You talk about name recognition, the most Googled name on earth in 2019. And yet nobody's given her any parts at all because she's completely bereft of talent. She said that the media sometimes twist facts and manipulate the public. Well, there is some truth to that, yes. The Daily Mail is not entirely innocent, so and perhaps a pity they couldn't both lose. But you see how much of a manipulator she has been herself, and carefully crafting this image as the hapless victim, as the apostle of compassion, the patron saint of the poor and the oppressed and so on. In which case, why don't you give away some of your millions to the needy and your husband's inherited wealth? So there they are, having a more normal life, as Prince Harry said it. I mean, if there was a case of class blindness, a normal life, living in it is in a $20 million mansion at Montecito. That's not normal. Talk about privilege. Now, I mean, these people are not evil, but they are, wow, they need to get over themselves. They're hilarious, unwittingly. Another thing is what they had their spokesman say about that book, Finding Freedom. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex did not contribute to Finding Freedom. The book is based on the author's own experiences as members of the Royal Press Corps and their own independent reporting. Stop there. Now, you would have to be especially stupid to believe that, since a lot of the info can only have come from Meghan and Harry, unless it was completely fabricated by the authors. And the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, they're very quick to denounce anything they find unflattering about them, but they had no complaints about this book whatsoever. And that was yet another honking lie when they claim they had no input to that book, because they authorized their minions to speak at great length to the authors. And all right, the Duke and Duchess didn't speak directly to the authors, but that's a distinction without a difference. It makes really absolutely no moral or logical difference. So Jason Knauf, their communications secretary, and as he swore on oath, he discussed the book on a routine basis. That's a direct quotation, and discussed it directly with the Duchess multiple times in person over the email. Close quotation. I would love to see those emails. And anyway, the Duchess even gave them background reminders about her life story, and Jason Knauf had a 2-hour meeting with the book's authors. So on and on and on. So that was just a massive whopper of a lie. claiming that they had no input to the book, when it was really completely their side of the story. It was their broadside against the royal family, them carrying on briefing against the royal family, denouncing the royal family as Prince Harry's grandfather, Prince Philip, lay dying. Every hurtful and poisonous thing they could possibly say, they have said it. I mean, they're toxic. This gruesome, twosome, gingin cringe. And then the other thing is that Prince Harry, it was said, this is according to Jason Knauf, which Meghan and Harry have not disputed. Prince Harry says, "I totally agree, we have to be able to say we didn't have anything to do with it," close quotation. Okay, so they wanted to produce the appearance of non-involvement in the book, when that was the direct opposite of the truth. It was a total lie. They were deeply involved in it. So there they were, perpetuating these mistruths, pumping out lies into the public domain, and yet accusing everybody else of mendacity. So these two are utterly dishonest, utterly bereft of ethics. So Meghan Markle herself has apologised to the courts for her total dishonesty. And this is what she said: "I accept that Mr. Knauf did provide some information to the authors of the book, and that he did so with my knowledge for a meeting that he planned for the authors in his capacity as Communications Secretary. When I approved the passage, I did not have the benefit of seeing these emails, and I apologise to the court for the fact I had not remembered the exchange at the time. I had absolutely no wish or intention to mislead the defendant or the court." Close quotation. So wait a second, how can you remembering it now? You said these things, then you forgot about it, and then you suddenly remembered. Well, what an inconvenient lapse of memory, which must have gone amnesiac about the age of 39. So she was trying to cover herself up there, and she didn't come to London to testify in person. I'm surprised she resisted the temptation. She might have thought that would be the greatest performance of her life, but of course, courts in the United Kingdom are not filmed apart from the Supreme Court, so for one night only, she could have had that stage, but she chose not to. I'm sure she would have cried through her tear-proof mascara. Anyway, people are calling her Princess Pinocchio. So these two, they really are emetic. Well, it's a bloquial conduct by these two who've been not quite regal in the way they behave. They haven't borne themselves with the decorum and dignity that would befit the House of Windsor. So there they are in a fairly lonely exile in California. After the video, Lawrence of Arabia visited his cottage in Clouds Hill. Well, I'd really like to go and see his grave, because I showed you his house in Oxford, where he lived for some years, but he lived in a number of different places, born in Wales. Okay, that's enough from me. I'm going to sign off now. So please book lessons with me in history, politics, religious studies, elocution, public speaking, debating, English literature, English language, English as a foreign language, IELTS, if you know that course, the Life in the UK test if you're seeking British citizenship. I'm a tour guide in London. Everything there was incredible. Thank you. Well, Alec Gurney, you are most welcome. So I urgently need donations on PayPal. So please donate to me on PayPal. You'll find me there, georgecallahan79@gmail.com. That's GeorgeCallahan79@gmail.com. Toodaloo.